Hello and welcome to Electric Bike Report. My name is Pete and this is the iGO eXtreme 2.0 electric fat bike in for testing and review. This is a pretty interesting e-bike because it features the 4-inch wide fat tires here, which are great for riding on sand or snow or just about any kind of surface you can imagine. It's a pretty fun bike for cruising around town on too. Has a nice hydroformed aluminum frame with the 48 volt 13 amp hour lithium battery, and down there is actually where the controller is housed. And then there's a 500 watt geared rear hub motor from Bafang, Shimano Altus rear derailleur with a 7-speed drivetrain, Tektro mechanical disc brakes, and a nice assortment of accessories with fenders, rear rack, and lighting. So this bike is priced at $19.99 with free shipping. So this is a video overview, and I'll have a full review for you at electricbikereport.com. And there's a link to that in the notes for this video. So with that, let's get into the details. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at the 6061 aluminum frame with hydroformed tubing. Here at the head tube, you can see the top tube and down tube connecting in here with some smooth welds, and just a nice detail, nice look to it overall, and providing quite a bit of strength here at the head tube, a high stress area part of the frame. And then taking a look at the down tube, you can see that it has quite a bit of slope to it, so it's nice for providing a good amount of standover height for the frame. And here at the down tube, the 48 volt 13 amp hour lithium battery is housed right on the down tube. And this is a great location for the looks of the bike, but also for the balance and overall handling. It's just a nice location for placing the battery on the down tube of the frame here. And then taking a look actually right back here real quick, here's some internal cable routing through the down tube of the frame. That's really good for just overall cable protection and the clean looks of the bike. And down here, this actually looks like a mid-drive, but the controller for the e-bike system is housed in this area. And nice thing about that is if you were ever to have a problem with the controller, it's easily accessible by removing a couple screws and the plate for that area comes off. And iGO really focuses on the easy swap out of componentry, kind of a plug-and-play system. So if you ever have any problems, it's very easy to fix. Also, another weld detail here, nice connection of the down tube to that central area near the cranks here. Similarly, the weld detail there at the seat tube coming into that. Then there's 2 bolts here, so you can attach a water bottle cage to the seat tube. And here's a look at the sticker here. This is iGO bikes are designed in Canada. And then the top tube to seat tube connection and the seat stay connection there. Some nice weld details. And then you've got the seat post quick release, so you can easily vary the height of the seat post to fit you and your riding style. And then the connection here of the rear rack, and the rear rack itself has pretty large aluminum tubing for a nice sturdy looking structure. Then there's also smaller rails for attaching most bags and panniers to the side of the rack there. And you can also add something to the top of the rack too. So a lot of options there. Coming back here, there's a bit of a sort of a protective cage around the derailleur, the rear derailleur, so in case you were to drop the bike or it hit something, helps to protect the derailleur itself. But overall, some pretty nice details on the frame here. So smoothing out the road is handled by the RST Guide suspension fork, and this provides 90 millimeters of travel, and it's a pretty active feel. And here at the top, there's a lockout dial, so you can turn this dial and the fork is locked out. The purpose of that is if you're riding on pretty smooth roads and you want an efficient ride, that prevents the fork from moving up and down. So it's pretty handy for the smoother roads. And then to unlock the fork, just turn the dial that way. So it's very easy to turn it on and off. And then here is the preload dial. So this sets the spring rate of the fork for your weight and riding style. Okay, so let's take a look at the drive system. And first of all, there's the Wellgo platform pedals, and these have a metal body with reflectors front and rear. Nice grippy surface here. And then there's the chainring with chain guard, and the chain guard is nice to help to protect your pant legs a little bit. And then that drives back to the 7-speed Shimano cog set back here. And then the Shimano Altus rear derailleur shifts through that 7-speed cog set. And then this is the Bafang 500 watt geared rear hub motor that provides pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour, and there's 9 different levels of pedal assist. There's also the thumb throttle that can be used as a boost to the pedal assist levels, or it can be used on its own without pedaling, so you can just cruise along with the throttle if you want to. So a number of different options there, and this whole setup makes this a Class 2 electric bike. So now let's take a closer look at the 48 volt 13 amp hour lithium battery on the down tube of the frame. There's a battery level indicator right here, so if you push this button it shows you the battery level, and there's also a battery level indicator on the display on the handlebars too. I'll show that in a little bit. So this is the locking mechanism for the battery, and there's 2 keys supplied, so you unlock it by turning the key that way. The battery rotates to the left side of the frame and off. And then, so there's a closer look at the locking mechanism, and then that flat platform on the down tube for the battery, and then the lower connection point on the frame. And then taking a look at the battery here, you can see there's that connection point, the flat surface area of the battery. And then to reinstall, basically the same in reverse, just line it up there at the bottom, and it starts to rotate, and then it clicks into place here at the top. You can take the key, and then just double check, make sure that the battery is solidly attached, and you're ready to go. So here's a look at the battery charger with the battery removed from the bike and the charger plugged into the charge port in the upper left side of the battery. The battery can be charged on or off the bike, and charge time is about 4 to 6 hours for a 100% charge on an empty battery. Alright, so slowing down, the eXtreme 2.0 is the Tektro Aries mechanical disc brakes with 180mm rotors on the front and the back of the bike. And here's a look at the rear brake with the 180mm rotor attached to the Bafang 500 watt geared rear hub motor there. So let's take a look at the ride position. First of all, you'll see the handlebars are pretty wide for a stable ride feel. They have a bit of a rise to them for a comfortable position. And speaking of that, there's the adjustable stem here. So you can adjust the angle of the stem to provide a more upright position like it is now. You can also have more of a performance position with it being lower down. So you can really play around with that to dial it into your riding preferences. And then taking a look at the frame here, you can see that top tube slopes down quite a bit to provide a good amount of standover height there. And then there's the iGO saddle here, and has a mid-width profile for a pretty comfortable ride, but also fairly narrow in the front for efficient pedaling. So the Kender Crusade Sport 26-inch by 4-inch wide fat tires are a big highlight of the eXtreme 2.0. These fat tires are really fun because they're really just an all-terrain tire. They can almost ride on anything, you know, sand, snow, general dirt, mud, and pavement. They're great for all types of riding. And what's really interesting is that, you know, you have so much air volume in these tires that when you run them at the lower tire pressure, they have a lot of sort of built-in suspension effect. They really absorb a lot of the bumps and cracks in the road, and they're able to really just kind of mold over a lot of different terrain. And also you've just got that large tread patch on the ground, so it gives the bike a very stable ride feel. So let's take a closer look at the handlebar area. On the left side are the Velo lock-on grips. They have collars on either side, so they lock on to the handlebar for a very solid feel. Then there's the Tektro mechanical disc brake lever, and these have a bit of a rubber grippy surface here for a nice solid feel as well. And then there's the built-in bell. It's a nice feature. And both brake levers have sensors that will stop the pedal assist or the throttle when either brake lever is engaged. And speaking of the throttle, here's the thumb throttle. So this can be used as a boost to pedal assist. So if you want to get through an intersection really quickly, you can just get a boost of power that way. Or you can use it on its own without pedaling if you want to. Just cruise along and use the throttle. And that will provide assist up to 20 miles per hour. So then taking a closer look at the display and control pad here. First of all, you've got your battery level indicator right there. Then there's the pedal assist level, current speed, and your odometer here. So we'll cycle through the pedal assist levels in that upper right corner. So currently 3, 4, 5, and then on up to 9. That's the highest pedal assist level. And then you can cycle down to 0, which is no pedal assist. So a lot of options there with the pedal assist. And then to cycle through information, it's currently on the odometer, but you can hit the on-off button really quickly for the mode. And so that shows you your trip distance, your ride time. This is the amount of power the motor is providing. And then back to your odometer. And then you can see max speed, and you've got your average speed, and then back to odometer there. So a lot of good information, and very easy to see the important information at a quick glance there. And then moving over to the right side of the handlebar, this is the Shimano 7-speed shifter that shifts through that drivetrain on the back, and then the rear Tektro disc brake lever, and then the Velo lock-on grip there. So the eXtreme 2.0 comes with a nice accessory package. First of all, you've got the headlight here that is good for seeing the road and for being seen out on the road. Both the headlight and tail light are powered by the e-bike battery, so you don't have to worry about charging separate batteries for the lights. And then you've got the full coverage plastic fender on the front and the back of the bike there. And also I mentioned before, but you've got the built-in bell here on the front brake lever. And also mentioned before was the rear aluminum rack. Has a pretty solid design to it, with the rails here that work with most bags and panniers. And here's the taillight that is powered by the e-bike battery, and it sits just under the rear rack platform there. And finally, you've got the kickstand that is attached to the back of the frame there, and there is a way to adjust the length of it, so it adjusts the angle of the bike when it's parked. Alright, so that's the overview of the iGO eXtreme 2.0. Make sure you check out electricbikereport.com for the full review, and there's a link to that in the notes for this video. That'll provide you information on a bunch of detailed pictures, specifications, ride characteristics, range test results, pros, cons, and overall thoughts, all at electricbikereport.com.